Hello and welcome to yet another Yapping with me, Fellonius the Wizard. In my little narrow world where I live and do stuff, I usually just make sure that I don't start sorting things. Well, things I might sort, but people or living things I don't sort. I don't like to do that because it feels like I am trying to minimize some people and try to demonize some other people and stuff. So I try, and I must say this is just something that I try to do a lot of. I'm trying to just make sure that human beings are one thing and non-human beings is the other things. Now, non-human beings, that is the plant I have that I don't like, that is mosquitoes, might be some, well, I don't know, rapists or pedophiles. I don't think they are human either, and some other violent people like murderers and stuff. The rest is human, and I can even sometimes feel like cats and dogs, at least some cats and some dogs, feels more human than a rapist. But that's about it. I don't see why I should continue trying to split people into groups. I have a hard time understanding the reason for this. Now, Carl von Linné was actually trying to do it with plants and stuff. And there was so many different types of species of everything. I have problems, just as you probably know. A bird is a bird, and I don't bother with what type of bird it is. The same goes with flowers. The only thing that I've learned about flowers is that every flower is beautiful, and that's how it is. No matter how dull it looks or ugly or anything, all flowers are beautiful. So that's an easy way to understand life. I don't want to do anything else. But people continuously go around sorting other people like different types, and to me that's, well, it should be rather racist, shouldn't it? But if I say that, then I start to sort people into racists and not racists. And I don't want to do that either. Because that's not my problem. It's not who I want to be, and it's not my bother. However, I see that if you are trying to do something wrong to other people or to the society where we live in and so on, you are doing things wrong. And I can't really see why. I mean, come on, we are all here on this planet trying to do whatever we can do. Of course there are rich people, there are big people, there are fat white people, there are fat white people with guns even. But that's not really a problem, is it? I mean, it's their problem, not mine. And I know that there are black people, and there are red people, and there are yellow people, and there are most likely blue people or green people or something. I don't really bother with those. That's not really my problem. Up until a point, of course, because suddenly my company is forcing things on me. They are using a thing to make themselves look good. There is no seriousness behind it. It's all about good publicity, because they like to do that. And okay, I can see that good publicity is a necessity if you're trying to do some profit, but it feels like you are forcing and pointing and doing stuff that is not really good, is it? Okay, so I had to go and see what this was all about. The thing that I'm talking about was pride flags on our buses. Suddenly there should be pride flags on our buses because... And there they lost me, because I couldn't understand. Why should there be pride flags? I have big problems with the Swedish flags, but we have special flag days in Sweden. I think I have talked about that before. And if it's a flag day, we should have flags on our Swedish flags on our buses. That's okay. But why should we have pride flags? It has to do with, and now I have to read from my text, LGBTQQ. Which, if I am not totally mistaken, is something to do about sexuality, and the let's do this again, LGBTQQ community is everybody except heterosexuals and asexuals. And I'm both those, so I don't understand the others. Now, I had to go and see what this is actually about, because there's too many Qs. It's lesbian, gay, and I thought that was the same thing, so I am a bit off on that one. Lesbian, gay, bisexual, and I actually knew a guy who was bisexual, or at least someone told me that he was. I didn't bother, he was a good boss. Transgender and queer, and I thought queer also was gay, or, well, never mind. And then questioning. Questioning its sexuality. So the LGBTQQ community, and they are having, of course they have had serious problems of getting their rights, but I'm not totally sure if they mean that they are not getting their human rights. Perhaps they are not. I have actually no idea. I was talking, this must be at least 20 years ago. I was homophobic 20 years ago. Yes, I was. Totally. That was my last really... I didn't even know that I was homophobic until I met a gay person. I suppose gay is guys, men who are homosexuals. Okay. So I met a guy called Bosse. I don't think he's listening to me. Bosse, if you do, thank you very much for our talk. He taught me. Taught me how to think around this, because he asked me some very simple questions. What is it you are afraid of? I couldn't even answer. So he had to answer. And he answered, is it because you think that every gay person is actually trying to get you, be with you? Well, I don't know, I said. I have no idea. No. Suddenly I realized that can't be it. Can it? Can it really be that is a problem? Because I have never met any gay person that I knew was gay. This guy was, because someone told me about that, and I didn't know why they told me at all. If I had met Bosse just at the library where we met first, I wouldn't have noticed that. There was no sign in his forehead saying homo, because he was just a very nice guy. He was, I think, 1 or 2 years older than me. We were talking books, we were talking culture, we were talking writing books and stuff, and he was also some sort of politician back then. So we talk a lot of the cultural stuff in the community. That was what we were talking about. We weren't talking about sexuality, but for some reason, I think I must have said something about No, I think it was like this. He was asking if we should take a coffee together, and I was hesitating. And that made him, okay, is it because I'm gay? Because he knew that I knew. I said, I don't know. Then we should have that coffee, he said. And that was what we did. And we were talking like, he was more or less just telling me how this works. And from that day, I have no problems with that part of people. Okay, there is some sort of sexuality problems for some people. I don't have it. I'm a straight, heterosexual, asexual guy. But I don't go around and put that on my CV. And I don't think they should either. But I know for a fact that back in the 60s, early 70s, most of the gay community was trying to put clothes on that looked so strange and weird. They were using manners and talk like, I don't know. It felt like, what are you doing that for? Why aren't you just doing the normal stuff? But it felt like they wanted to do that because people should see that they were gay, I thought. Now, in the back mind, I don't really know about that. Never mind. So, they have their Pride Festival. And I feel like Pride Festivals is like pointing to people and saying, okay, so you have your festival because you want to have your rights. That's good. If I don't bother with that Pride Festival, it's not because I don't feel like you are having your rights. You have rights to be as any of us. You should have your work. Nobody should be doing anything. I think we even have a transgender bus driver. I'm not totally sure. And my company was actually pointing him out and putting him in the company paper. And I was thinking, what are you doing this for? This guy is just a normal bus driver. Up to a point, as soon as you said he's something else than a normal bus driver, suddenly he's a transgender normal bus driver. That's not the same thing. If you hadn't said anything, I wouldn't have bothered. Nobody would have even was interested. He's just doing whatever I do, or she, or it, or whatever it's supposed to be called. Oh, just give me a break. So it feels like just having this long LGBTQQ. Why are we using that stuff? Why can't we just get along? Why can't we just be all the same? Human beings and non-human beings. And of course, probably there are some gay rapists or something. Well, rapists are animals. That's something we can all agree on. Pedophiles could probably be lesbian pedophiles. I don't know. I have no idea. But if there are pedophiles or rapists or mass murderers, really doesn't matter what type of sexuality they have. They are not human beings. They are animals. And I've never asked a cat or a dog what sexuality they have. Should I? It's not one of my top 100 questions if I want to meet someone. No way I'm going to ask them what type of sexuality they have. And even if they tell me, I don't want to know. I'm not interested in that. I want to know what type of creativity they are using, what type of hobbies they have, what types of games they play, if we have anything in common on those subjects. Or if they have a YouTube channel where they do yappings. If they have that, I don't give a hoot if they have, hold it, LGBTQQ status or whatever it's called. Any ideas about this? I know it's a tough subject for some, but for me it's... Let's drop it. Let's just say that we are humans. Okay. Thank you for listening. Bye.